Well, hello there, and welcome back to the world-famous Fuzzy Walls Mastering YouTube channel. I'm Brandon Weil.
And I'm John Weil. Today's episode will be a brief review on the Crane Song Solaris Quantum digital to analog converter. Enjoy. Just over 2 years ago, I decided to invest in the best digital to analog converter that I could find. At that point, the studio's monitoring system was based around my Universal Audio Apollo, supplemented with a Little Labs monitor for headphone duties. But over time, I started noticing issues in the system. The gain staging wasn't ideal, and I already knew the conversion was not mastering quality. So I drained my savings to make sure I could buy something any mastering studio would be proud of. It would have to offer the absolute best in D to A conversion, clocking, and headphone amplification. After weeks of research, I decided to purchase a brand new Crane Song Solaris Quantum D to A converter. Unpacking and installing the new unit was very simple, and the box itself looked, felt, and even smelled like $1,000,000. After making a few quick connections under my console, I was off and running. Using my trusted PM3 headphones and my Focal Solo 6 BE monitors, I started listening to some reference tracks, and I was shocked by what I was hearing. Quite often, there was a lack of musicality and sheen. In fact, some of my favorite tracks sounded like they were almost pixelated or even bloated and rubbery. As I listened to more and more music, it became apparent that I was actually hearing more honesty and details than I was used to. The more dynamic mixes sounded full of energy and depth, and the stereo field was beyond belief. Not just wide, but also full of dimension and height. Recordings made with poor quality converters, sloppy engineering, and badly compressed masters sounded exceedingly harsh, flat, and sometimes even phasey in ways I'd never noticed before. After this first listening session, I was starting to rethink how I felt about some of these references that I thought I knew so well. In order to make sure my ears weren't lying to me, I A/B tested the Solaris against my previous setup. That is when it became extremely apparent that the older chain was coloring everything I heard with a certain smudgy and yet sparkly characteristic. That is not what a mastering engineer wants. Instead, the Solaris was allowing me to hear every detail in complete honesty so that I could do my job with full confidence. Also, the digitally stepped output levels for both the headphone amp and main outputs does wonders for a calibrated monitoring system.
If you enjoyed all of that, please subscribe to our channel. Click the like button, and as mentioned before, don't be shy to leave ideas, feedback, and questions in that comment section.